Today, we're going to be taking a look at the top 30 vintage non-sports sales on eBay for the month of June. The list starts around $1,000, but scales up to $13,000 as the highest sale this month. You will see some Garbage Pail Kids, some Star Wars, and vintage presidential cards. So let's take a look at what's sold. Starting off this month's top 30 list, we have Han Solo Wonder Bread PSA 10 that is sold for $1,100. Even though these are black bordered, you do see quite a few 10s out there. And we'll keep moving forward. $12.49 for this 1966 Batman. Now, not to critique the seller, it says incredibly rare. Listen, this card is not incredibly rare. When I think of incredibly rare, I think of a card that has maybe a pop of 5, 10, maybe 20 to 25. The Batman is not that. Now, is it a tougher card to find in better shape? Yes. Maybe a higher grade than a 6 though, but this did sell for $12.49. It's an extremely popular card within the hobby. Just looking at this card, all the pictures are angled, so it's tough to really address the condition on it. It does have some centering issues. You can see from top to bottom on that side of things. Left to right doesn't look too bad from this specific angle, but probably that centering impacted a little bit of a higher grade. $13.50 for this 1980 Patti Smith. This was a crazy sale to me, and the reason why is that you can still find a lot of the nicer 68 or 72 Cantantes, like 8s, 9s, and 10s for a fraction of the price that this sold for. Now, there's like 2 doors from 68 Cantante, which are tougher to find in 10 shape than the 80s, and both of those sold under $2,000. So I just want to say, like, this is a crazy high sale. I listen to a lot of rock and metal music. I go to a lot of concerts. I'm not familiar with Patti Smith. I looked up Patti Smith before this video. Apparently, she's a famous singer and poet and all this other stuff. And Rolling Stone said, quote unquote, one of the top 100 artists of all time. Very debatable because music is very subjective. But very, very high sale for that. I'm curious. There's a lot of other bigger names in 1980 Panini. They have one of the first Billy Joel cards. I'm curious what the Billy Joel in a 10 would go for based off of this sale. I have the Joel in an 8. Do want to upgrade over time, but I'll just say that I would be very curious what that in a 10 would do. Another music card. Actually, this is sweet. I didn't know this existed. So in the 50s, Topps had a lot of advertising sheets kind of like this. I've seen a few of them at card shows that have been sliced up. So I've seen the 52 Topps, and there's one of the 3 cards in there, but not the full sheet like this. The full sheets are kind of tough to find. I do think that the companies grade single cut ones off of here, but I would assume they would grade the full thing, right? And I wouldn't suggest cutting this up. But regardless, I didn't know they had one for the Elvis. It makes sense. I'm curious if there's an uncut sheet for like Look and See Now and some of the other top sets that were non-baseball focused. Because again, I didn't realize that. But yeah, just to show you what this looks like over here, you do have a crease, but you have these 3 cards. I wish card number 1 was on here, but still very, very interesting piece. And it sold for quite a lot, $14.56. $14.60 for this 3PO Ben and Luke Star Wars card 119. Congrats to someone's registry that just got bumped. $14.89, Three Stooges. No checks on the back. Pretty tough card to find. That's why this sold for quite a bit. $1,500. This was sold by Alex, a big non-sports dealer. I've done a lot of deals with him. Card shows specifically. He sets up at Chantilly and Philly and some of the other stuff like that. But this was a canceled. The only way you got it canceled is if you gave all 32 cards in, or all the presidential cards. I can't remember if it was 32 at that time, but I don't think it was. But regardless, you got to give all these cards in to the manufacturer. And there was one short print in the set, and that was the McKinley. Now, the McKinley is a holy grail of non-sports cards. It's like a $20,000 plus card. So once you brought in the whole set, they would stamp it, canceled, candy, paid. And there's not a lot of these because again, the McKinley was very short printed. So seeing that this has the canceled stamp on it and you also have this being a blue. So there's 3 different colors of 32 caramels. There's red, blues, and oranges. Blue and orange tend to be the toughest to find. Usually it's blue most of the case, or most of the times for presidents, but there's some that are orange that are pretty tough to find. It really depends, but blues do sell for a premium. Now, a blue by itself for a Teddy Roosevelt's not a $1,500 card. I've sold a few of the blue Teddies. I want to say they're anywhere from about $100, $200 in lower shape like this. But adding that cancellation stamp, I've never owned one with a canceled stamp. And some people that are set builders or just want rarer pieces of presidential stuff will pay out for it. So this is the first comp that I've seen of a canceled with a blue, and $1,500 is sold for. And I will say also that I think this is the highest selling Teddy Roosevelt card. And the reason behind that is his rookie, or I'm loose saying rookie card because it's tough to apply it to non-sports cards. But Teddy Roosevelt has 3 cards from the 1800s, and in my opinion, a card that I own, full transparency, his Duke in 1898 or 99, which is a really awesome card. That sells for about $1,000, I want to say right now. So this outsold that, and the Duke's tough to find. There's only 3 or 4 of those out there. Really awesome image, pre-presidential. So it's very interesting how this non-sports market is still developing, things like that. But yeah, this is your most expensive Teddy Roosevelt card right now. And again, this is my thought just going through this video. There may be some higher sales, but I think this is the highest one on record. Another presidential card, and 1989 Run to the Core Donald Trump. Now, not to get political, but I think this is the best time to sell this card. I want to equate presidential cards of modern presidents to baseball prospects. And here's why. Anytime a baseball prospect gets called up to the major leagues, you have the most hype, right? And most people sell prospects as they're getting up, or like the thought of them going to be called up to the major leagues. You sell on the hype, right? It's presidential season. Whether Trump gets elected or not, there is a ton of hype in media coverage right now. And because of that, I think it's the best time to sell. Because if he gets elected or doesn't get elected, over time, the media coverage is going to decline, right? You're not going to be on the news every day going to be president or not president, right? Sell right now if you have this card. I bet you within another few years, you could buy this back for a fraction of what it's selling for at 17-13. I could be wrong, and I don't like giving out advice all the time, but in my opinion, right now, if you go after modern presidential stuff, it's kind of like baseball prospecting, and I've seen how that market has operated since I've been a kid, right? Anytime a prospect gets up, they go for crazy amounts of money. So, in my opinion, sell if you have that. 1750 Tommy Tomb. I don't know if I've seen this one before. It's kind of an interesting design. And one thing I've learned about Garbage Pail Kids, by the way, there's like 2 or 3 different types. You have a glossy, which this one is over here, and I should do a better job at mentioning if a card's glossy or not. Then you also have the normal, non-glossy. And I want to say it's 1986 that has the UK that are smaller versions of these. I almost purchased a set actually when I was over in the UK before, but 3 that I'm aware of that have the like 85 design. There could be more. I'm just not familiar with them. And if there is, let me know, because I want to learn for these videos. I don't collect Garbage Pail Kids. I probably never will, but it's good to have that knowledge base. 2074 for Blasted Billy. And another thing I learned also, by the way, is Blasted Billy has 2 different backs. There's a checklist back. There's a normal back. Again, I did not know that until I was really looking at the sales this week, because I almost filtered out another Blasted Billy, but I realized they had that one that was marked as checklist and one that was not. I wish this had the back picture, but just imagine a checklist. $2,100 for this 1966 Kite. And one of the first Spider-Man cards, I want to say. It's a pretty nice grade on this one. This one actually looks very, very sharp, just taking a look at the card. I think centering stopped it from being a 9. 2150 1966 Batman in a PSA 10. I was kind of shocked at how Some of these high grade Batman cards and unopened packs have gone for it at some of the auctions. If you guys don't know, I do a full auction recap on the channel, and just seeing what some of the Batman stuff has gone for, it amazes me. I know Marvel stuff. I think Batman's Marvel has a pretty big following, but 2150, 10 bids on this one. I was 50-50 if I wanted to include this one or not, but 2250 for this cabinet card of Abraham Lincoln. And like there's like a crease or wrinkle right over here. Really, really intricate artwork on the back. I just don't know enough about this, but I think this is a really awesome image. And I don't think grading companies will grade these cabinets right now, but regardless, you can see it. I mean, it looks like a super young Abraham Lincoln in this picture. Pretty sweet. 2275, just a classic card, price captive. So many people want this, and not a bad looking 8. 2299, Curly, the most popular card in the Three Stooges set. Also card number 1. Centering is a bit to be desired, though, on this copy. 2400, Blasted Billy. This is the other back, by the way, just to show you guys what that looks like. And it got some nicer images. I wish they kind of just put the PSA skins on here rather than these ones over here. Sea Raiders Pirates Legacy PSA 4. This sold for $24.93. I don't know what would outsell, this or the Blackbeard now in a 4. I think this still outsells Blackbeard a little bit, if in a 4, but the Blackbeard in a 1 now is like, what, $400 or $500? The Sea Raiders is more popular than his Ginter. I get it, though, but it's still kind of crazy to me. And there's also 2 different backs on these as well. You have this one, which has both languages, and I want to say you have one that's just in English, if I remember correctly. This is printed in Canada, so it's a little bit tougher to find. Still, it's an awesome card. $2,500. Very popular. Superman versus Torpedo. It's got a qualifier. Ooh, right there. It's pen or pencil, I can't tell, but front doesn't look too bad. Also $2,500, a dime for this, and Boris Karloff over here. I probably mispronounced it, but I want to say it was the original Frankenstein. I have one of his early cards from the 1930s. It's actually from Australia. It's very tough to find, but you know, polar opposites over here. You have horror and Mickey Mouse. There's some interesting designs in this 1935 set. I'll say that they won't get approved today, just based off of some of those cards. But this set has a pretty big cult following. A lot of people love it, and you know, early Walt / Mickey Mouse cards. Some interesting imagery on it, some being short prints. I understand the appeal. Another $2,500 sale, Mean Gene. This was a glossy in a 10. Again, first time this one has been featured on. $26.83 for this 1940 Superman. Big crease right over here. I think this gets a 1.5 all day long. And I want to say that ones are about $3,000. So I think someone will make a little bit of money if this gets a 1.5. $3,000 for this Wolverine 1990 hologram. And I've had people in the comment section talk about these hologram cards. First, they're very condition sensitive, and they're tough to pull also. So that's why these go for quite a bit of money. Jumping to almost $5,000, Luke Skywalker card number 1 in a PSA 9. 5401, Atom Bomb. PSA 10. Card 8A. Nearly identical design to Blasted Billy. $6,900 for Nasty Nick. PSA 10. Card 1A. $69.99. Cosmic Spider-Man hologram in a PSA 10. People love these hologram cards. Third highest, $86.77 for Wolverine. I would have thought Spider-Man would have been a little more popular than Wolverine, but that's 3 already in the top 5. We have another one over here. Spider-Man versus Goblin, $9,500. In the top sale, Nasty Nick, the glossy version. This for $13,700. I'm curious how much rarer the glossy is compared to the normal. Is it kind of like the Tiffany with baseball cards? Regardless, we're going to take a look at some honorable mentions now. 1950 Bowman Wildman. This full set sold for $1,700. They don't look too bad. $1,800 for 1967 Leaf. It says Holy Grail. I don't know anything about Star Trek, so if you're a fan of the show, I think it's a show, right? Not a movie. They probably have movies, but let me know. $16.99. Apparently a test issue. There's two like Captain Nice slots that sold, and something I have no idea about, but you can see those packs that were included as well. 15.25. Another Elvis. This unopened pack. I mean, if you're into Elvis, there's some rare stuff that sold this month. $2,200, 1959 Three Stooges complete set, and you get the 3 header cards, 5s across the board. I'm curious where that one checklist is. You get the home slabs on these ones. Look at those labels. I get it though, if you want to just put it in a case and things like that. I guess you get this case as well with it. And lastly, $2,400 for this 1952 Look and See complete set. Look and See has been doing really well recently, especially high grade. These aren't high grade, but you get the full set. This might not be a bad deal, and you have to price it out. But I can't remember how many cards are in this set. Maybe there's 135. But yeah, those are the big two. I wonder if it has Rembrandt in there too. It would have to, right? If you have a complete set. You have the Einstein. Einstein sells decent now. Let's see if they talk about it in the description. No, it doesn't talk about it. I can't remember the Rembrandt number. So let me see. Look it up really quick. All right, it's card number 82. So there we go. That's what the Rembrandt looks like. Oh, it's miscut. But I still think if you're selling that set, you put that in the front because that's one of your big 3. And I didn't even think it had it at first. I know it mentioned full set, but yeah. And that will be the last one for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you're new and check out some of my other old non-sports videos like this.